Hey there, guys. It's me, Chase. Um, and I'm in a group chat with some buddies here in San Antonio. We kind of communicate with whatever evangelistic situations we find ourselves in, help each other out, whatnot. But anyways, we were in, the guys were talking about this coming election and about who, if they're going to vote for Trump or not. Now, most of the guys, I think most, if not all of them, have reservations about President Trump, myself included. And it's mostly based off his character, but it does have some things to do with policy decisions and whatnot. And so what I wanted to do here, because I was looking at, I didn't provide much of my own commentary, but one of the guys in there, talked about why he was going to be voting for Trump. And I wanted to sort of give my reasons, I guess. I thought I would talk about here and make my case for why I am voting for Trump in this election. Now, what I want to say here from the outset is that I didn't vote for Trump in the 2016 election. I actually didn't vote at all. And let me just say here, the idea that just because you didn't vote does not means you can't talk about this or that is simply ridiculous. It is just a stupid argument. It's based on this flawed idea that voting is some kind of American, right, as in RITE, not RIGHT, not that. But if it's some kind of rite of passage to be acceptable as an American, and that if you don't vote, you're some kind of outcast whose voice is not worthy of being heard. It's just such a silly, ridiculous idea. So let's just put that out of our minds. So I can not vote and still be very critical of the way things are going. But with that aside, what I want to do here is, given that I did not vote for Trump last time, I will be voting for him this time. And I want to make the case for the reason why. So one of the things that got me so disillusioned with the Republican Party is simply the hypocrisy. The claims that they make of being for the average American, but constantly failing and unwilling to stand up for the American people in so many issues. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking about issues like abortion. Hold on 1 second. All right. Issues like abortion. The Republican Party is extremely complicit in the abolishing of abortion in this country. What the pro-life movement in America has become is nothing more than a sponsorship for Republican votes, for Republican money. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go listen to the leadership of the pro-life movement specifically saying and advocating whenever laws are introduced that would abolish abortion and make it a crime, these Republican pro-life leaders will advocate the failure of these bills. They will sponsor failing these bills, and their very reasoning will say that if this bill passes, then all our pro-life legislation that we've worked for will be gone, which I thought was supposed to be objective. I thought we wanted to get rid of all of this stuff, but they don't want to get rid of it. The reason why is because these laws provide reason for the pro-life movement to exist. The pro-life movement as an organization gets money for the Republican Party, and there you go. Sorry guys, that's just the truth. You got to be willing to face that truth. And as people who claim to stand on principle, we always say that. How far are we really willing to go with that? I find most Republican voters are not really willing to take that to its conclusions. So that's one thing. Now I'm gonna have to cut this video out and just edit it because I gotta get out of here in a moment. So I will continue my kind of conversation here, my reasons for why I'm voting for Trump. That was just one of the reasons, one of the things like I was given that abortion issue, giving you sort of an idea of where I'm coming from. And so that may help you understand me a little bit better. So let me just continue on here with sort of the second half here, my reasons for why I'm voting for Trump. All right, so one of the things that I was disillusioned with, one of the things that frustrates me about Republican voters and the Republican Party in general, is in regards to the majority of us and our claims to be Christians. Now, I'm not saying I'm doubting our Christian authenticity at all, but here's my thing. Christians in America today, evangelicals, have gotten too close to politics that they see their mission field or the way Christians make differences in their culture through politics and not through the gospel itself. It is not the Republican Party. God's gospel is not found in the Republican Party. God's gospel is found in the scriptures and in the power of the Holy Spirit. That's where it is. Okay, so if you really are a Christian, your primary basis, my primary basis for truly engaging the world is from the church in the power of God with the authority of Scripture. That's where it is. And so what we've done, we've become so complacent in our society in America today, where we really think that all we need to really do as Christians is make sure we vote for the right guy. And Republicans are for saving children in the womb and things like that. And see, we've got so comfortable with that we ignore the complacency of the Republican Party itself. To me, it's the way I was. One of the things for me was, with the lesser of the two evils thing. As a sort of, you might call me a libertarian. I really wouldn't call myself that, but I really don't consider myself having party affiliation. But I want to make sure that I'm clear here. I do think the idea of voting for the lesser of two evils, I've thought a lot about this. The idea of I can't vote for the lesser of two evils because evil is still evil is really, honestly, when you think about it, it would lead you to a position where you just can't vote for anybody if you were to be consistent, because you're not going to agree with everybody consistently on everything. You're not going to. There's always going to be things you're not going to like about this candidate that you wish they would do this bit different. And is that evil, or is that a difference in seeing the way we should go about things? And so I really honestly think the idea of I can't vote for lesser of two evils is kind of reduces to absurdity in the end. In the end, you are always going to have to compromise on some level. The question is, how much? What are you willing to compromise? And I think it is very appropriate to make sure we're asking that question so we don't compromise too much. And I just want to say, guys, you're not compromising a whole lot when you vote for Donald Trump. You're not, okay? And especially given in a situation like this, I think it's a little over dramatic to do that. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Now, that having been said, my official position on the lesser of two evils is I'm willing to vote for the lesser of two evils. But the thing is, if we're going to do that, the reason why people tell me this is why you got to vote for the lesser of two evils, because it'll give us room, it'll give us time to get some groundwork and to get the right people in. It's all, in other words, it's just buying us time. That's why we got to vote for the lesser of two evils. You may not like the guy, but hey, he's better than the other, and voting for him means we don't go off the cliff at like 200 miles an hour. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. I totally get that. So I'm for, if what you mean by voting for the lesser of two evils means let's buy us some more time, then I'm down for that. I'll vote for the guy. Here's the problem though. What we end up doing is, again, we get complacent. We vote for the lesser of two evils, and what do we do with the time that we buy for ourselves? We do almost nothing. We don't continue to, we don't take that time to get the gospel out to people. And I'm saying this about myself too, we just tend to get really comfortable with the time that we have. I can relate to it personally. Whenever I find myself like at work, and I do this all the time, and it's not a good thing. When I find that I have time, I've bought myself some time in my work to, like oh cool, whenever you have some excess time, it's like, oh sweet, cool. What do I do with that excess time though? I tend to just sort of flounder it and get lazy. I procrastinate, and next thing I know, I'm out of time. I have unfinished work, and then there I am just flipping out, and I stress myself out. And I did it to myself because I didn't see that time that I got for myself as a blessing, as something, oh, this is excellent. I got time. I need to put it to use. I can't look at this time that I just got as a reason to just sit and chill out. It's like, okay, all right, I got some time. I'm going to hang back, watch some Netflix and whatever. We need to take that time that we actually earn, that we get, and do something with it. What are we doing with the time that we buy for ourselves? And I'm sorry, typically nothing. We do nothing. We just keep voting. We come back to 4 years later. Hey, we gotta vote for the lesser of two evils, because if we don't, we're gonna we need to buy ourselves. And we are in a vicious cycle in which we continuously vote for the lesser of two evils. And at the end of the day, while I'm willing to vote for the lesser of two evils, the lesser of two evils still is not enough, does not have enough good in it, does not have enough principle in it to actually fight the evil that we're trying to fight. So that's my big problem with that. And that's the reason why I stopped voting, was because we keep talking about voting for the lesser of two evils, and we never do anything with the time that we buy for ourselves. And then I also started thinking, honestly, these two sides, I mean, they're both statists in the end. They just have a different idea of how the state should run. That's pretty much it. And then I was like, honestly, whenever I vote, whoever wins, it really doesn't get that bad. Everybody always talks about how this is the most important election of our lifetime. If we don't do this one, and then it's all over, blah, 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 blah. I honestly didn't even think that with Hillary. I didn't think it was going to be so bad with Hillary. I mean, it's probably going to be bad, but not really, really bad. It's all hype. It's all Republicans getting their base riled up that Hillary is the worst ever. You thought Barack Obama was bad. Oh man, Hillary is going to be even worse, and all this stuff. And I just thought, I was so disillusioned with these talking points over and over and over and over again. And I just didn't. So now you're wondering, Chase, you're kind of making a case not to vote for Donald Trump, aren't you? No, I'm not actually. This is all part of my point. The lesser of two evils reason to vote was so overused that I got to the point where I'm like, man, you guys are you're a joke. You say this every single time, and it never ends up being that bad. Democrats, whenever the Republicans win, they act like the world's about to end. Didn't end. Same thing with the Republicans. They acted like the world's about to end. Didn't end. And, there you go. And so I just went, I'm tired of this. I'm not doing this anymore. But the question now is, are we facing that kind of situation now with this election? And I got to tell you, I mean, I'm looking at this from the outside here. I'm not biased towards Republicans. I honestly think we are. This isn't me trying to rile up Republican voters or anything like that. I genuinely believe that this election is unlike anything we've ever had before. It really is. I really truly believe. I believe that at this time, this is the time where if you don't vote, it's going to have some dire consequences. If Donald Trump doesn't win, we will have some dire consequences. As Christians, as Americans. And so I think based on that, it really is important that this time you get out and vote. If you're a Christian, if you love the gospel, and if you want to see the gospel actually grow in America in its truest form, where Christians go out in faith and share the gospel, people evangelize and things like that, try to end abortion in this country. If you want that to continue, I really do believe that you gotta vote for Trump. Nobody's here saying he's the best that there is. No one's even close to saying that. But I'm telling you guys, right now, there are sinister there is sinister work going on in the Democratic Party. It is, the deep state is real. It is undeniable at this point. It has come out. It's the beast, if you want to get into, that sort of language. The beast has come out. It's been forced out of hiding because of all that's been happening. It needs to come out now. It's like Thanos. I forget which one of the movies, but at the end of one of the movies, the MCU movies, this when Thanos goes and grabs the gauntlet himself. It's like, fine, I'll do it myself. That's what we're dealing with now, and this is the one. All the garbage that you kept hearing over and over again. No, this is the one. This is the one. That was all a bunch of bogus. It was all just to excite people, to get people out to vote. This one, I really think, is the one, and that's why I'm going to be voting for Donald Trump in November. It's not because I'm on the Trump train by any stretch of the imagination. It is because I want to see the gospel grow, and if I want to see the gospel grow, I truly believe, I need to vote, because come November, if he doesn't win, I don't know what's going to happen for Christians in the future. It's going to be it may not get to the point where we have to go underground. I don't think it's going to get to that point, but it will get significantly harder for us. And if you love the gospel to spread, I think that's what you need to really contemplate that and make that choice. So I wanted to just sort of share my thoughts for why that's my argument for why I'm voting for Donald Trump. It's not because I'm violating my principle of never voting for the lesser two evils. I'm always willing to vote for the lesser two evils, but we need to actually do something with voting for the lesser two evils. And I think that right now, this is where it counts. So anyways, I hope this is helpful to you guys. If anybody who's on the fence about voting for Donald Trump for whatever reason, I just hope this might help bring perspective. People who say that, I'm never voting for Donald Trump, this might help you go, again, put things in perspective and go, oh, well, he does make a good point. Or maybe you still think that was not a good point at all, and you're still not going to vote for Trump or whatever. That's fine, but that's my reasoning. I hope it's something that maybe piques some thinking in you guys. So anyways, gotta go. Soli Deo Gloria, guys. God bless. Talk to you later. Bye.